what was that word? Chris tells them to use on that movie set because they don't like slut.
Pukiak.
Pukiak, yeah. You call that one a pukiak? And then when he sees her later, he's like, "Hey, pukiak."
Just don't trust that one. You're gonna have to get me shittier weed.
What, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the cream of the crop. Whenever I'm not doing this, like the other ones you've had before, like the ones that come in the little packages, but these ones here, I'm not even sure about them. I don't think I'll order them again. A little much for me, like not price wise, but like weed wise. I don't need quite this level of sophistication in my weed. Speaking of weed, time to smoke. Okay, well, good. I agree. It is time to smoke. What'd it do? It did do. What'd it do? Bippity boppity. Is it a late night stream tonight? How late is it? What time is
It's
it?
not that late.
It's not that late? I didn't think it was.
It's not tomorrow yet. We'll say that.
Okay, yeah. Smoking on some gelato. I honestly don't know what this is. Oh, it's lemon bean hybrid. It's 12 where I'm at.
Thanks for sharing with the class.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. Northern Lights is good. I've had Northern Lights a few times. Skywalker Kush is another one that I haven't seen in a while that I'd like to snag. I remember that one being really good.
That skunky smell.
Too much for you, huh?
Yeah. Although Cricket ripped that fart, that was probably equally skunky.
Oh my God, bro. It is impossible in my mind that smell came out of that little cat. But it did. Wafted right up, man. Waiting for my tax return to smoke again. I got quite the tea break ahead of me. Yeah. Well, you'll be a cheap date by then.
Cricket is a silent but deadly farter.
Yep. He just lets it slip out, and then all of a sudden the room is literally filled with like this thick booty smell. And like, I'm not a blamer. Like, if I farted and I smell it myself, I'm going to warn everybody. I'm going to be like, hey, I farted. You want to. But like, I was sitting there tonight, sitting at my computer desk with Cricket. Amelia was sitting next to me, and all of a sudden, man, just rancid, rank ass. I was like, I think Cricket farted, and she was like, I don't know, maybe it was Dinor. And then she got a whiff of it, and she realized it was indeed a Cricket fart. Man, it smelled like smelled like if you made like a big lasagna and then just left it out on the counter for like 3 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then just went over and like wafted that stank cheese lasagna smell. Yeah, dude, a cat fart it's got a whole note to it that's not even like, Trust me, I've smelled plenty of dog farts in my life, and they're no bueno. But a cat fart is a whole different. There's a little different note.
And it just sifts out. There's no like squeak or nothing.
Yeah, just like a little stiff breeze out of their ass. Oh my god. I think that might have been a minnow fart right there, man.
He hasn't had one in a couple days, so.
He's been holding it in. He's had that minnow fart on deck. He's waiting to jump up in my lap and release it. My nose is too weak to pick up cat farts. I don't know how you could have that weak a nose. You can't smell nothing if you can't smell a cat fart.
Did you have COVID? Is that what happened?
Yeah, if you caught the vid and have no sniffer anymore, I understand, but there was no missing that smell. Somebody baked a rotten lasagna. You could tell. Maybe your cat doesn't just fart. Yeah, or maybe they maybe they're polite enough to not come dump it right in your face.
Cricket was just relaxed. And he was just...
Everybody's farted one of them relaxed farts, and that's all that happened to him. He got up there, he was purring away, he was all stretched out on my lap, and it just slipped out of there like a stiff breeze, man. Silent but deadly. Ooh. And it lingered too.
Yeah.
Like it was like a big green cloud in the room that was just like, oh man, all right. And you'd wave it away and it would come swirling back. You're like, what the fuck? He trusts you, yeah. I'd have earned that trust though. I'd have go through the ringer with Cricket to get his trust. But I got it now. I could pick his little ass up and carry him around the house if I wanted. That, I think, is the difference between dogs and cats. Like, Dinor, if he sees somebody interacting with me, immediate trust. He'll go anywhere with that person. Like, the first time he met my mom, it's like, but cats, not so much. Cats, I think, give that kind of love to whoever their parent is. Like, if you raise them from a kitten, you get that trust. But if you're like an outsider in a cat's life, you gotta prove to them that you're a good guy and not a bad guy. This little situation here. I would never move to Japan. Japan is kind of like the opposite of what I'm looking for. Like, I would love to visit Japan, but living in Japan, no. Like, Japan would be that kind of like super urban kind of living, super densely populated, big city kind of stuff. That's not what I'm looking for. I like the big city. I really do, but I don't want to live in it. At least not that style of big city. Isn't that just Tokyo? No, it's not just Tokyo.
You gotta realize America is mostly empty space, if you think about it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. We Americans are accustomed to our wide open spaces. We've got more land than we ever fathom what to do with. So, I like city stuff. The only city type of environment that I would ever live in again would probably be Bellevue or Seattle. just simply because it was like, to me, the ideal kind of city. Very, very good public transit, very centrally designed so that everything is easy to get to. I liked living in that city. I would never live in like LA. Well, I mean, I guess I'd never say never, but
Well, LA is pretty sprawling. Too.
yeah, LA is incredibly sprawling. Depending on how liberal you are with your interpretation of what's still LA, you could be way out in the fucking high desert, up in the Valencia fucking mountains. Hiroshima is about a Seattle-sized city. I loved it there. Yeah, I mean, I just am not, I don't know. Japan seems like it would be a complete and utter 180 kind of culture shock place to move to, whereas Uruguay seems like it would be like not that hard to integrate into. Most of the last two generations of Uruguayans speak English fluently, so wouldn't even have to learn, Spanish in order to function there. Their national food is beef. They have more cows than people, just like us. So, they eat a lot of beef and a lot of seafood. Sounds good to me. Would you tell them that you get your income from t-shirt sales? Maybe.
You just have to have enough money to buy land, right?
Pretty much. Yeah, in Uruguay, I think you have to have a provable income of, what was it, 50K a year or something?
I don't even think it was that.
Yeah, whatever it is. I would imagine it has good food. I mean, most places have good food, but I would imagine that Uruguay has really good food. That's easy. I might check it out after COVID. Yeah, well, I don't know what their travel standards are like. Uruguay was also one of the countries that did very well during COVID. They had very, very incredibly low deaths and infection rates. They locked down, mask mandated, and got through COVID months and months and months before we did. We're still in it. So get the net on that. They were like a New Zealand / South Korea / Vietnam kind of story. Just weren't touched by it in the way that the rest of the world were because they instituted proper fucking lockdown procedures and shit. Go figure. Sorry.
It's okay.
Didn't mean to gas you out. When is this going to blow over? Can you tell me that? Can you give me an estimate on when this is going to blow over and when it's going to be safe to travel again? Because I read a fucking article today talking about how a lot of scientists are saying that at a current rate of vaccination in the Western world, the virus is going to continue to mutate in the developing world and be reintroduced to the Western world, and we'll have to have booster shots constantly till the end of time, basically. Like, COVID is now like the common cold, but way deadlier. It's like now we've got a common cold that's ultra deadly in comparison.
And you know how bad people are with their fucking annual flu shots.
Oh, yeah. You gotta love it. So I don't even know when traveling will return to anything like normal. What if it
I know you can
mutates?
go basically anywhere in the U.S.
I mean, yeah, you can go anywhere in the U.S. that you want now, but it's risky as fuck to be traveling right now if you haven't been vaccinated. And even if you have been vaccinated, it's still risky as fuck to be at places like airports and shit. Well, it never blows over, then we'll just have to learn to manage it. We have no choice, unfortunately. We can thank the management of the response. Yeah. Yeah, we can. We can thank all of the people that we elected to represent us on a national level for our national response to this. The new spikes would have to be substantially different to necessitate boosters / new vaccinations. Still need to vaccinate 70% of most. Well, yeah, that's the problem. That's why the boosters is because ever reaching that 70% vaccination rate globally is not likely. So all of the mutant variations of COVID 21, COVID 22, all of these variations that that scoot around the fucking vaccine, we're gonna need boosters for. Go fig. Kanye would have stopped it. You think so? You think Jesus would have stepped in?
Come sit on my lap.
I can't do it, Mom. I can't do it.
Oh, get it. Okay.
Don't be old seems to be the best things. Kids aren't the super spreaders we once thought they would be. Well, kids still spread the virus. They're just not as likely to have complications from it. So there's that. I would say that it's going to be significantly worse than the Balkans in the United States in the next 50, 60, 70 years.
Donner's just very indecisive.
What do you even want to do, D? You imagine the Mad Max world we would be in now if this killed kids? Especially if it killed kids at the rate that it's killing older adults. Like if things were inverted and this was something that was way more deadly.
That's kind of how malaria is.
Right.
The inverse.
Yeah, malaria tends to attack the young and the old and weak. COVID, not so much. COVID tends to go after the older, weaker, immunocompromised people. So as of right now, 1 in every 700 people that were alive on January 1st, 2019 are dead of COVID in the United States. And that number continues to get more and more astonishing with time. It wasn't that long ago that it was 1 in 1,000 people, and that was astonishing. And now it's 1 in 700 people. Didn't they have like cardboard cutouts of COVID dead at the Super Bowl filling the seats?
I don't know if it was COVID dead. I think it was just normal cardboard cutouts.
I thought it was cardboard cutouts of people's family members who were dead of COVID sitting in the seats at the goddamn Super Bowl.
I don't think it was that.
I saw people sitting with cardboard cutouts. What was that about?
Social distancing?
With cardboard cutouts of other people?
Let's see.
They paid $100 to be a Super Bowl cutout? Did they really? They paid for those? Really? Man, they should have filled that fucking stadium with cutouts of the COVID dead.
Yeah, it said Billie Eilish, Drake, and 30,000 others.
Wow. Paid $100 to be a cardboard cutout. What the fuck? Bum 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 bum. This pipe needs a cleaning and a soaking. I have to soak this bad boy. This pipe needs a cleaning. That's just what I'll do.
Does it need to be soaked in that rubbing alcohol shit?
Yeah, well, it's probably like a diluted rubbing alcohol, just overnight or something. We'll knock out a lot of this resin. The largest stadium in the world wouldn't even fit a third of America's COVID deaths. Yep. Here in Hong Kong, the only people you ever see not wearing masks are white. Why are they allowed to not wear a mask? Am I wearing underwear tonight? Yes. It's a strange question. Sorry, D. Sorry, Amelia. That's just the way the wind is blowing.
He's fine.
You got a little toot. You got a little toot. A little contact high. Yeah. No stupid questions, yeah. You remember all those teachers that used to tell you there's no such thing as a stupid question? They were lying their fucking asses off to you. There are tons and tons and tons of stupid questions. Trust me, I've heard about half of them over the course of my career here. The amount of COVID dead in the U.S. currently would be the entire population of Kansas City, Missouri. Yeah, can you imagine? Think about the toll of this in relation to like 9/11. In 9/11, like what was it? 2,000 or 3,000 people died, and it literally fucking changed the entire country and the way that we perceived ourselves and the trajectory of this country.
And like these are excess deaths that
Right.
don't happen normally, so it's like everything from the hospitals to the funeral homes are overwhelmed with shit.
Right. We're talking about like fucking 100 times, 100 fucking 9/11s. It would be like the entire city of Kansas City, Missouri being wiped off the map and everybody that lives in it being dead and evaporated. Can you imagine? And there are still people wandering around fucking flaunting their masks and shit. It's unreal. Fucking unreal.
Oh no. Don't tell me you're farting now too, D.
Did he drop a little ass on you?
Just a little.
A toot and a poot. Difference is the main cause of the events was outside forces. Here in America, people died of COVID because of people not taking it seriously. I mean, yeah, but we're talking about, like, the reason 9/11 was so fucking shocking to people was the amount of death that it caused in what we saw as an unassailable American city. And the idea that we were not safe from said death. And here we sit with 100 times that having happened last year. I was just scrolling back to make sure that this was stupid. I'm going to go ahead and time you out. If you think that COVID is the same thing as aging, you're too dumb to have a conversation in here. See you later. We all need to go vegan. Get out of here. Just stop with it. Stop with the vegan shit.
You accidentally unhid
No,
him.
I didn't mean to hide him. I wanted to time him, but whatever.
I'll time him then. Oh, you got it.
No, you go ahead. Like, basically what I'm saying is the reason why not a lot of people are wringing their hands about the death count is because there's no direct thing outside the negligence of the country to blame. There's a virus. Like, I don't know. It's just like that doesn't compute with me. I don't disagree with you. It's clearly happening. People aren't taking it seriously, but for me it's just staggering. I don't understand why. Humanity seems to be bad at assessing threats when they're not directly biting or stabbing or murdering people in whatever immediate way. Yeah.
No, you're not gonna have a vegan argument in the chat.
Nope. We're not talking about veganism. If you're talking about veganism now, you've got like fucking 15 seconds to stop. Go to Vegan Gaines' fucking stream and have it out in there. Take it to the DMs. Take it to fucking Twitter. I don't want to hear it. It's with people tonight. I don't know, man. These nighttime streams are always a little more chaotic than the daytime streams. Like, the daytime streams are a coin flip. It's like 50-50. You're going to get a bunch of fucking shitheads or an actually cool conversation. Flip a coin. At night, you get a little blend of both constantly. So I like it, but, you know, it is what it is. What's his problem?
You're just looking at me all sad.
Don't be sad.
Don't be sad. I remember talking in December 2019 to some coworkers, and they were saying that COVID was just another swine flu. I mean, I said the same shit. I remember when COVID first broke in December or whenever it was, like when it was first breaking as a national story, new virus in China is showing up on our shores and shit. We were all talking the same shit because we'd been conditioned to talk the same shit. Oh, this is another bird flu. It's another swine flu. It's another avian flu. It's another Zika virus. It's another this. It's another that. You know. And this time it wasn't. I had a lady at work say, oh, it's just another swine flu, and she had gotten that. First lady at work to go home with COVID. Yeah. Sounds about right. So you're saying you were wrong? Yes. What? No, I'm saying I was right. COVID's just a big old nothing. So you were wrong. Yeah. Owned! Jesus fucking Christ, bro. So you were wrong? I only watch people who are never wrong. Get the fuck out of here. I've heard some patients are having to go straight from ECMO to a lung transplant due to the extent of lung damage caused by the virus. Yep.
Trigger tonight.
Yep, I'm just gonna start nuking. If you put some gibberish non sequitur in the chat, you're just gonna get banned tonight. Contribute or don't say anything at all. Have a fucking conversation. Don't drop memes. Don't drop stupid shit in the chat tonight. I hate to have to do it, but I'm gonna have to do it. I'm sick of fucking hunting through the chat and finding a bunch of. So say something stupid, get that ass timed. Say something stupid again, get that ass banned. It's not hard to sit down and have a conversation or keep your fucking mouth shut. If you're too dumb to type a sentence, don't type in my chat. Now I'll wait for the fucking quietness. Yeah, get that ass banned, exactly. GTAB. Yeah, lots don't realize that if it doesn't kill you, it can leave permanent damage in multiple organs. Yeah. When COVID ends, I'm going to keep social distancing during flu season. I mean, the world has changed. Bloop. Am I afraid of getting COVID? No. I'm afraid of spreading COVID to somebody who dies from it. This whole thing has just made me realize how disgusting everyone was before this. We continue to be disgusting. That's a good point as well. This guy I was talking to not only dismissed the death toll, but refused to buy that it had long-term effects on survivors. So you guys remember my ex-girlfriend, Ashley. She got COVID. She has been COVID-free for about a month and a half now, and just recently had to go down and get an inhaler because she has breathing problems now. The doctor listened to her lungs and said that if the inhaler and steroid regimen that he put her on didn't work, that she was going to have to go to the ER. Ashley's 26 years old and has no pre-existing conditions, no asthma, was never a smoker. That's just one of the people that I've known that's had this shit. Fucking insane. It's like in the 70s before AIDS when you could sleep around with reckless abandon, and now that's totally out. Before well, I mean, you couldn't sleep around with reckless abandon in the 70s. I mean, there were still like herpes has no cure. There was never a time where you should be having unsafe, promiscuous, unprotected sex, ever. AIDS just put an underline on it. Syphilis, chlamydia, herpes, gonorrhea.
Fucking syphilis is crazy. Like, people's bones will get fucked up from it.
It eats your bones. Like, some people have asymptomatic syphilis, and it doesn't get caught until it's already damaged their brain. So, talk to me about sleeping around and shit. It's always been fucking dangerous. Didn't Al Capone die of syphilis? A lot of historical figures died of syphilis. Go look at the Wikipedia article. There's actually an article, I believe, on Wikipedia that covers the notable people who were thought to have died of syphilis. Well, maybe there's a kitty.
You're a kitty cat.
Is there a stray bow? You gonna go evict? You evicted one earlier. That one fucking... You saw how he leapt over that fence? You're a good boy. But don't just sit here and bark at it. You go chase it if you are going to get it out of here. Speaking of that, I need to get my yearly STD checkup appointment. That's a good practice. Syphilis is what Nietzsche probably died of, yeah. I think it was thought that Van Gogh might have had syphilis. There's a number of, like, kings that died of it. I think some people posit that Shakespeare might have died of syphilis had he, if he existed. It was like a very, very common thing to die from back in the day. Lover's pox, yeah. Henry VIII had syphilis, yeah. I believe he is one of the many. Edgar Allan Poe, yep. They found Shakespeare's death mask, so he's probably real. I didn't hear that. That's interesting. It's always been kind of up in the air as to whether Shakespeare was just a pen name for some lord or lady. So proof that he was an actual figure and not just a literary one is kind of interesting. Do I get cold living in TJ's shadow? No, dude. I kick back in the shade. I live my life in the shade with a pina colada. What the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, double timed out and banned.
I know, dude. Combo breaker. English major here. Shakespeare for sure was real. I mean, thanks, English major, but English major here. Reporting in. The story that goes that Nietzsche saw a horse collapse and then collapsed himself. He lived another 10 years, cared for by his sister, but was never the same. Yeah. Oh, dude, Shakespeare definitely smoked hash. In the little fucking garden at Stratford upon Avon, where he was canonically born and lived or whatever the fuck, they found evidence of old hemp plants and cannabis plants and shit. They found like some old, like an old pipe buried back there with some residue in it. It was cannabis, man. He was smoking.
I'm gonna chase the kitty. Go chase the kitty.
Go.
Get down.
Go do it.
Get down.
Get down. Go chase the kitty. Hunter S. Thompson's death is still the craziest death to me. I mean, he killed himself. It's not... I like how opulent royalty of golden times was. An ancient Greek monarch threw a celebration featuring 500,000-gallon wineskin made of leopard pelts. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. I mean, think about that. Like, the human population was low enough and animal abundance was high enough and resource abundance was high enough that level of opulence was attainable back in the ancient world. An entire throne made of gold, fucking just insane. Like this guy mentioned, a fucking giant wineskin made of leopard pelts. You know what I mean? Just absolutely insane, the amount of fucking overuse that humanity started to impose on the planet as soon as it had the ability to do so. Diamonds as big as your fucking fist and golden, goblets.
You see that
and
diamond implantation? Someone implanted a diamond in their head.
Just like got a diamond put like where? Like right in their forehead?
Yeah.
Dope. It's like Diamond Face from that shitty Bond movie.
Yeah, it was...
A little Uzi Vert got one?
Yep.
People are saying in the
Big
chat.
old fat
Let me see this.
forehead diamonds.
God damn. Lord have mercy. He's got a diamond as big as my dick right here in his forehead, like the infinity gem. That you can't outflex that. $24 million diamond implanted in your forehead. You can't outflex that unless you get like 10 Oh my fucking God, dude. It's going to be happening. People are going to be just literally dripping with diamond implants. Yeah, he turned himself into Vision. Go look at him. Go look at the picture. I ain't shitting you. It's fucking crazy. How could you snatch it? It's like screwed into his skull. What if you got diamonds cut like teeth
Oh yeah, and just replaced all your teeth.
and had all your teeth replaced with diamonds?
I'd get.
Diamond implants.
Yeah. Would you grind them down or leave them all pointy and shit?
I think you'd have to like smooth them out and make them like teeth so you wouldn't like bite your tongue off and shit. But like diamonds are gonna last forever up in there. You're not gonna wear them out eating food.
Yeah.
Diamond fingernails. Ooh. That might be Beauregard's flex right there.
Yeah.
If I ever get a multi-billion-dollar Beauregard fucking rap career, I might get some diamond nails. I mean, yeah, rappers get diamond grills and stuff, like shit you put over your teeth. That's
Talking about a solid diamond tooth.
yeah, I'm talking about pulling out your teeth and replacing them with implants that are all diamonds. Just solid diamonds. Yeah, get your balls taken right out of the sack, put 2 big old diamonds in there. And then get like a transparent window so you can see the diamonds floating in there. You know what I mean? That would be a flex. Ooh. My girlfriend is bipolar, and her shifts in mood have a massive impact on my mental health. I feel like I can't be there the way she needs me to be. Do you have any advice on how I could be more helpful towards her? There's a number of books that you can get. Bipolar and borderline personality disorder are very closely linked. And there's a book that I read called Loving Someone with BPD that helped understand a little bit. But I will tell you this. If you have somebody that is bipolar and they are unmedicated, it's a very tough situation to live in. People that have bipolar disorder, when they're medicated and properly seeing people when they need to, it's a different story. Unmedicated, untreated, undiagnosed BPD is horrible, dude. I don't know what else to tell you other than what I've given you there. I grew up with bipolar parents. Medication makes a huge difference. The few period of times they were off meds were a nightmare. Yeah. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's the way it is for a lot of psychological disorders. Medication intercedes in a profound way in a person's life and can make them much more productive and much less volatile a person. For some meds, dull the personality, though. It's a double-edged sword. I got to tell you, if you're suffering, it's not. It's not a double-edged sword. That's an anecdote that keeps people from going to get treatment. What does that even mean? Like, how do you quantify dulling of personality when you're somebody that's constantly suffering with rapid cycling bipolar or borderline? It's ridiculous. Like, yeah. If that personality is volatile and tortured, then I wouldn't call that dulled. Yeah. Neither would I. Everybody is responsible for seeking out their own treatment for things like this. And it's not an excuse. I have a slew of mental issues that I've talked to you guys about. I don't excuse my shitty actions with them. I don't go, well, sorry I was mean to you, but, I've got a panic disorder and anger management problems or whatever the fuck. I apologize to people when I fuck up. And I do my best not to fuck up. And I'm medicated and I do my best to keep up with that shit. Watching schizophrenia slowly start to take someone is heartbreaking. I saw that happen with my uncle. Growing up, just a goofy guy, I remember him being a really, I never remember seeing him not smiling. He was just one of the happiest dudes, jokey, had a lightness to him, and then in his early 30s started to go down that road.
I'm just getting your meds since I was thinking about it.
Oh, yeah, since I'm talking about being medicated. I think I actually took them.
I'll check.
I'm pretty sure I did. My dad is bipolar and heavily medicated and can still have bad episodes. There's no fucking magic bullet fix for these types of mental health problems. Medication, it just allows a person to manage on the daily, and then therapy and active management of your illness by the person that has it and the people around them is also needed.
You did.
See?
It was probably time for D to go in anyways.
Yeah. It's pretty nippy out here.
I don't know if it's so much nippy, but just he gets in trouble when it's all dark and shit.
That is true. That's also true. He likes to wander off and eat shit. I think I might need meds for traveling.
I mean, that's stuff to talk to doctors about.
Yep.
You're not going to recommend medications or give out diagnoses.
Yeah, avoid the fucking impulse that is really, really supported by the culture right now to self-diagnose your need for meds or self-diagnose yourself with a mental problem. There are people who are professionals in diagnosing mental problems who do that for a living, for a reason. Because mental problems are not easy to diagnose. So if you think you need help, you need to reach out and get help from a professional. You need to not be asking internet personalities whether you should be on meds or all that type of shit. Like, I don't mind giving you guys anecdotal evidence or anecdotal stories about what I've dealt with personally, but I'm not prescribing any kind of thing other than reaching out to a fucking professional who can give you the advice you need. That's just all it is, dude. I have to walk a fucking careful line here. Just because I suffer from a mental illness and have known other people that have suffered from mental illness doesn't make me a fucking expert on those illnesses. Okay? So you just got to understand that. That's why I always tell people, go get help, go get help, go get help, go get help, reach out, call a fucking hotline, call one of these fucking places, call your local, fucking government and see what programs there are for free fucking therapy groups or whatever the fuck. Like, reach out, do whatever you can. What if you're too anxious to reach out? I don't know what to tell you. You got to fucking break it. You have to. Like, if you want to live the rest of your life in this meek fucking anxiety-ruled cycle, then, don't reach out. You got to find somebody. That's just it. I just desperately wanted someone to acknowledge what I'm going through. I have nobody to talk to about. No, I wasn't talking about you, bro. You asked a question. It was a fair question, and I gave you a fair answer to it. I'm talking about all the other people that have piled on and started talking about, their shit. No, I understand. I understand where you're at. I understand how hard it can be. I really can't tell you what to do. There are stories, that I could share anecdotally with you that are not my stories to share. And I would not do that because they don't involve me directly. I don't have bipolar. So I get medical advice from my weed. Do you? Good for you.
I mean, there's like controlled support groups and shit too that are moderated and stuff.
Yep. They're like group therapy groups that are free. Like I never went to one, but I considered going to one for my anxiety. And there were a number in Louisiana near me. So if you can get a group like that we're free to go to, by the way, that are moderated by mental health professionals usually, or at least people who have been coached in how to deal with a group therapy meeting. And that was free shit. So if you feel like that, and there were support groups also, not for people who suffer from the disorder, but for people who have loved ones who suffer from the disorder. So you can look into your local fucking shit, and there's a good chance that you'll find support groups for families of people who have BPD.
There's DBSA. There's something else.
There's a number of them. I don't remember all the names and shit, but you're absolutely right. There are a number of these. NAMI is a support group. Mm-hmm. Yep. You'll find these kind of sanctioned support groups being held in high school gyms after hours and stuff like that. And the people in that room are going through the same thing that you're going through or similar things, and it can be very therapeutic to just know that you're not alone in it. It really feels like you're a friend who gets it, even though I know in reality you'll never know the details of my issues. Yeah, that you got to be careful with that. That's what we call a parasocial relationship, and it's not a good thing. I don't know you. I don't mean to be mean to you, but I don't fucking know you at all. I'm not your good friend. I'm not your friend. I'm sorry to say that, but it can be very destructive for people to think that they have a connection in that way with a person that they don't have. And so I'm an entertainer. I'm an internet person. Okay. Now I'm very candid on my streams and stuff, and I know that lends an air of familiarity, but you need to know you're not my friend. I will not be there for you in your time of need. I probably won't even see your DM and shit. I'm not that. Sorry, it's just the way it is. I don't make internet friends. It's a hard and fast fucking rule that I've got. And, I have a couple of people that I met on the internet that are now my friends. And those people, that's all I need. That's all I want or need. I'm not out of here looking for more. I couldn't be your friend if I wanted to be. I don't have room in my life for another fucking friend. You guys have to deal with some creepy shit. One of the reasons I'm not very public, sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't blame you. I understand, like, people, there's a fascination or whatever when people follow a personality and they listen to a personality regularly and blah, 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 blah. There's like a fascination. You want to know more about that person's personal life. And that can lead some people who have boundary issues or social disabilities to take things a step or two farther than they ever really should. Ask creepy questions and do stalkery things, and you know what I mean? I've had to deal with this shit for years and years. Oversharing, right? Like, there was a gentleman who was from my hometown that was in here a lot, and he would talk about businesses and started name dropping people that lived in that town like we were just old buddies or something. And I had to tell him one night, and I think I told him verbatim, just because our moms shat us out in the same town doesn't make us friends, bro. And I don't want to talk about my fucking hometown or anybody that lives in it ever again. That's a small ass place. It's like he had to be told that because he felt like, oh, I'm born in the same place as Paul, so me and him got to connect. We know each other. And it's just like, no, we don't. Sure. I mean, that's what I'm hoping to put forward when I talk about mental issues and stuff. It's like, I'm not trying to be your friend or your doctor. When I talk about what I suffer with, that's just me frankly talking about my issues. To be fair, the streamer sharing candid info with strangers is itself a weird thing, so it's understandable. Sometimes gets a weird response. I mean, I don't really think so. I mean, I can see your opinion on it, I guess, but I don't know that it's necessarily weird. I'm not 100% candid with everybody. I mean, you guys don't even know where I live. Like, you don't even know what state I live in. You know what I mean? I'm candid when I tell stories about my past. I'm candid when I talk about my own personal struggles and shit. I don't think there's anything necessarily weird about it. I think when people catapult from that to some sort of pseudo friendship in their mind, that's when it becomes strange. I mean, there have been a number of performers who are very candid in various ways about their personal lives in interviews or in the work that they made and created and became famous for. Musicians, actors, visual artists, writers, the list goes on. I'm not, saying I'm some great artiste or some shit, but sharing personal info about yourself is kind of a long-standing tradition when it comes to art. Oh, I accidentally dropped my location in a DFF? Did I really? Interesting. I feel like I've accidentally dropped several locations and at several different times over the course of DFF and Highdeology, though. I wonder what that's about.
Could it be a sea of confusion?
Yeah, it could be. I live in the sea of confusion.
Could it be that you're not 100% serious all the time?
Could it be? Almost like a running joke or something. Yeah, of course. I'm curious, do you feel a similarly parasocial relationship with chat / your fans as a whole? No, I do not. I mean, look, I care for people in general. I'm an empathetic person. I'm a good listener. And so I care about people on that level. But when it comes to like anything beyond just the general care that I give human to human, no. And I had to learn that shit. I allowed the kind of pain and heartache and stuff of some of my fans to get under my skin when I first started this shit. I had people reach out to me and I'd go like, holy fuck, somebody's suffering. Hey, Paul, can I talk to you? I'm thinking about killing myself. Hey, Paul, can I talk to you? My girlfriend just left me. I don't know what to do. And I'd get in Skype calls and shit with these people. And I'd sit there for hours and I'd eat their pain. And it's just like, whoa. All of a sudden I was like, I'm working as a freelance fucking psychological counselor. I have to stop this. That's not getting paid. I have to stop this. So I had to quit that shit. It was having an adverse effect on me. There's only room for so many fucking people in a person's life that they can genuinely fucking care about. I think it's because you open up so freely. A lot of people want to open up to you and want you to help with their problems. I think, well, yeah, I mean, that's why I have to fucking draw a line at some point. You know what I mean? I talk very frankly about my own mental illness, but I always give that caveat when I do it. I'm not a substitute for your counselor and shit. You need to reach out. You don't self-diagnose the type of shit that I have. Just because you feel like, oh man, I go through that sometimes, does not mean you have an anxiety disorder. Why didn't I start charging motherfuckers? Good question. Probably because it's illegal to offer psychiatric counseling without a license and all that chestnut. Well, there's a lot of money in that, Donnie. I'm trying to warn you guys because I'm not this way. You guys hear this type of shit from me on the regular when somebody, you know what I mean, brings it up. A lot of these personalities, they get rich on making you think like you're their best friend and shit. I love you all so much. Thank you all. Each and every one of you is so fucking special. And you're all my friends. And I just feel so fucking blessed. And oh my God. And that's just a big fucking ploy to get you to be emotionally fucking attached to this person. And it's kind of sick and wrong to do. Because there's a lot of people out there who can't. You know what I mean? They can't do that. I mean, yes, it is gross. But tell me you don't see it fucking everywhere.
Blair White does I need subscribers because I don't have friends or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, there's varying levels of this, and I'm not trying to call Blair White out or whatever.
Just an example.
But I mean, that's borderline to me.
Yeah.
Have you made friends from meetups? Well, let me think about that. Yes, I've made one friend that I would consider to be a close personal friend of mine, has my number, knows where I live. I have his number. I know where he lives, and that's Peter. And I met him for the first time, I believe, at the first DFF LA meetup. No. It was way before that. I met Peter. No, I can't remember exactly where I met fucking Peter, to be honest with you. I met Peter at a fucking meetup. And he's been to several.
He's a pretty private person, just kind of out of necessity, probably.
Well, yeah. Well, not only that, but Peter never came at me for that. That naturally developed because I sat down and fucking chatted with Peter, and I was like, he and I hit it off on a personal fucking level. It's just the way it is. And he's a totally unassuming person to be a friends with, and but I wouldn't hold my breath. You know what I mean? I'm not out there fucking trolling for friends. I got plenty. I'm a lucky person. Yes, I met Marshall before the meetups. I think I was the first of the guys to meet Marshall. He showed up at the Airbnb we were all staying at, and the other guys were out. And I was home there by myself. And Marshall came by, and we smoked together and chilled. So I met Marshall at the meetups. So I guess he would be another one that but that was a different context. He worked with us. Have you ever had anyone at the meetups try and become your new best friend? No, not really. Like, I think most people kind of understand it. It's weird. Like, it's very strange being at the meetups because I'm a very gregarious person when I'm in public. Like, I'll walk up, shake a hand, give a hug, whatever. It's nothing to me. But I'll notice that there are people at meetups that are just looking at me. And I can tell sometimes that those people are like, oh man, I really want to go say hi to Paul and shake his hand, but I don't feel like I want to go over there. Like, that's way more common than people trying to push the friend angle too hard. I'm not saying those people are weird. It's weird for me to be in that position. Like, it feels strange. It's not really all that sad. I walk up to those people. Like, I approach those people eventually, and I put my hand out, and I shake their hand, and I give them a hug, and I say hello. Maybe I don't get all of them, but when I'm out there meeting people, you know what I mean? Not being rude, but do most people just hang around TJ at the meetups? No. Typically what happens at the meetups is after the stage show, we all kind of like go our separate ways in the building. And people usually make the rounds because they want to get pictures with all of us and meet all of us and get stuff signed by all of us. And so pretty much anywhere one of the three of us goes, there's 100 people with us. I had to learn that at the first LA meetup, and this was before I was even like a permanent thing on DP. I went to the LA meetup, and there was this dude there. I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. He's this big black guy, and he's like, Paul's ego. And he like shows me his hand. He's got a big fat joint. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, let me mingle for a minute and then come find me, and then we'll sneak out and we'll smoke that up. He's like, for sure. So I did. I went and mingled for a bit, and then like, I don't know what it was, like 45 minutes later, I saw him standing there. He's like a good half a head taller than most of the people that were there. And he was like, and I was like, yeah. And so I was just like, hey, I'll be right back, guys. And I started walking out with this dude. And I'm thinking in my head, like, me and this dude are just going to go around the corner and smoke this J together and have a conversation, which is kind of what I think he wanted. Dude, fucking half the place went with me. And all of a sudden, the outside of the venue at the LA meetup was just this giant mushroom cloud of weed smoke because all of the weed came out. And I was like...
And then in New Orleans, you were like pinned against the wall.
Yeah.
Smoke.
I went out to go have a smoke in New Orleans, and I would sneak out like the backstage door, but people saw that shit. Like, they could see me going out that door, and so they'd run out the front door, and all of a sudden I'd have like...
Or they'd just follow us out the back door, and then it got all...
That was true. That started happening
funky.
too. People would follow us out there, and like, yeah, at the New Orleans meetup, me and Amelia were just kind of like pinned up against the wall. And there were like 50 people. Does everyone smoke weed at the meetup? No. There are plenty of people that like, I'll be sitting there and I'll be chatting, right, with a group. And I'll a joint will be going around or a pipe or whatever, and I'll go to pass it to somebody, and they'll go, no, thanks. Like, there's plenty of people that don't imbibe or whatever. In fact, I would say that it's like more common for people that shouldn't smoke weed to smoke weed at the meetups. Like, that's happened a few times.
Social pressure.
Yeah, well, it's probably like a combination of like social pressure and just like wanting to knock something off a bucket list, because they, especially on VP, we were like big old potheads, smoking all the time on the show, and so that was like a rite of passage for some people. But there were people that never smoked weed that, like,
enter the circle.
They'd go stand in the circle, and then I'd pass it to the dude next to me. He'd take a hit and pass it to them, and they'd be standing there with Paul's ego, holding a joint, and they're just like, fuck it, pass it along, and then all of a sudden they're not having a good time. You know what I mean? They get a little too high. Enter egghead, yeah.
Honestly, like, puking from weed probably isn't that scary. It's like, you look at it as just like puking from alcohol almost.
I mean, that for a lot of people, that's the way it feels. If you're not a super pot smoker and you smoke a little too much or take a hit that's a little too deep, you know what I mean, then you're gonna throw up, and it's gonna feel like throwing up from alcohol. Your head's going to be spinning. You get the spins, you get the loss in balance, your stomach starts to feel wrong, and you just know you got to it happens. But it's just a shitty thing to have happen to you at a public venue, you know what I mean? So I always do my best to not engage in any direct peer pressure, although I know just seeing me standing out there and doing it is peer pressure enough for some poor folks. Got a little pitter patter of rain. Sounds nice. The frogs love it too. Did you hear them? They started singing hella loud.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck yes! Rain!
The life of a frog.
I know. Sing all night, sleep all day. Basically. I don't know what they're out there doing. Yeah. The rain started falling and the frogs were like, let's rage. They're loving it. NGL, I'd be intimidated AF to talk to you at a meetup. I wouldn't be all that intimidated to do it.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward once it starts. Like, a line just kind of starts to form.
Yeah. People kind of stand in line. Well, that's just to like take pictures and shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a hug line.
Yeah, well, yeah, like get a hug, get a handshake. I'll sign something for you. We'll get a selfie together. That's what the lines are for. I really don't have time to do much socializing in those. But once that part of the meetup is over, like, I'm out there just milling around with people. We're having conversations. I move outside and have a smoke. People move out there with me. We talk. Usually,
like for people that are stressed about it, the line's probably the easiest way to start the thing.
I used to live by a small pond. I love the ambient noise and the frogs. Yeah, I just wouldn't want to interrupt you if you were busy or waste your time. When I'm at a meetup, I'm there for you. You're the antithesis of a waste of my time. Or if I'm wasting my time, I'm choosing to waste my time. I'm there for you. I'm not at the meetup to do business or whatever.
I mean, that can happen, but that's what the back room is for.
Well, yeah, that's what the green room is for.
That's probably all the main thing you ask is like that's the sacred space where you can fucking.
That's just usually enforced by the venue.
Yeah.
Like nobody goes in the green room lest they are adjacent to the show, and or are tapped by somebody from the show. A very lucky few people have gotten into DFF and DP green rooms before. Some of them have straight up snuck in. There was a chick at the LA meetup that coattail rode Jacqueline Glenn into the green room. She sat next to Jacqueline Glenn while we were having a big old business discussion when we were being kicked out of that venue and shit. And everybody just assumed she was like Jacqueline's plus one. You know what I mean? And then later on, we asked Jacqueline, like, oh yeah, where'd your friend go? And she's like, she's not my friend. I thought she was one of your guys' friends. And we're like,
Well,
that chick just snaked her way into the green room. Oh my God. There was a dude, though, that knew LA venues
yeah.
that I was coming in and out of the green room, and this was before the show.
Yeah.
And he was a little Asian dude. And he was looking at me, and he had his hands in his hoodie. And he was looking at me, and finally I was like, I gave him that, and he was like, that was all he needed. Like, when I did this to him, he was like, yo, Paul's ego. And he pulls his hand out, and he's got a joint. He's like, you want to smoke? And I was like, yes. So we sat there and smoked a J real quick, and I was like, I gotta go, bro. He's like, yeah, thanks, man. It's like, all right. Is it true Egghead showed up but got spooked and left after 20 minutes? I don't think he got spooked. I just don't think he really cared to actually be at the meetup. Like, for Egghead, it was a power move for him. He got to come to the Airbnb and chill with us, which was that meetup's version of the green room. Because the venue we were at didn't have a green room. So he got to come and do that and spit all his little weird business fucking shit at us. And then he went to the thing, and that was secondary for him. And he just was like, okay, well, gotta go. Boop, 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 boop. He was a clout chaser. Ah, the days of sharing J's with strangers, I know. I mean, probably not super advisable even back then, but whatever. It's my fans. If I get herpes from a fan, I guess I was supposed to.
But yeah, there's probably going to be some iffiness in the future from a lot of people.
I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, I just can't see us doing that type of fucking meetup ever again. Because for me, half the fucking joy of it is getting down there with my fans and shaking their hands, clapping them on the shoulders, sitting around in a circle all close with them and telling a story and having fun, smoking J's, passing around, you know what I mean? It's just like, how does any of that happen now? Vaccine bracelets? I mean, even then, though. You know what I mean? One time while I was outside my fast food job, dude let me hit his joint for no reason. What is the name of that Seattle place? The hamburger joint? Dick's. So I went to Seattle one time just to walk. I wanted to walk up to Capitol Hill and chill at a park there and smoke a joint. And so I was walking around and I went to Dick's, and there was this homeless guy there. And he was playing guitar. I don't know if he was actually homeless. Maybe he was just indigent or in a shelter or something. But he was playing guitar there. And he wasn't playing at the time. He just had his guitar. He was taking a break or whatever. And I just ordered him a meal. And I took it over to him. And I handed it to him, and then I pulled out a J, and I was like, "You want to smoke a J?" He was like, "Fuck yeah!" So I sat there, I smoked with him. He played the guitar for me while he, passed the J back and forth, and then he ate the meal, and that was cool. Those types of days though are over. I'm not gonna be walking up to randos and fucking like, "Hey man, want to smoke a little bit?" Like that's just them days. Them days is done.
Yeah, unless the alternate to the vaccine is just finding a treatment that's so effective that it becomes negligible.
Right.
Like that's probably going to be the next frontier, is just like finding the absolute best treatment so that
Some kind of gene therapy. Like viruses are the hardest fucking things to crack when it comes to cures like that. Like all you can really do is inoculate against them, and you're right. The next frontier is cracking the virus code and being able to find things that actually cure the disease. There are a number of frontiers in HIV on this, where people that were HIV positive are now HIV negative. So,
I think Israel's working on something that's like supposed to be super effective and like moving in that direction.
yeah.
That would honestly probably be better than a vaccine if there's just like a reliable treatment, so it's not a big thing.
Yeah. Who knows? Virtual meetup with fans could be neat. No. We've done it. We used to do...
basically it.
I mean, yeah. Well, yeah, this is basically it. Except, me and Scotty would be there. Or Scotty and TJ would be there. But we've done this before. Like, we used to have as part of our Patreon structure, like, hey, we'll do like this weekly... Discord hangout with you guys, where we all get in a Discord call together and we blah blah blah. Dude, those were the fucking worst.
Or you guys do like Cards Against Humanity together or whatever.
I don't know what we did. We might have tried that a couple of times. It was just bad. It was always 100% bad. You just can't. The modern medical science advancements are fascinating. Yeah. I could only imagine how obnoxious that Discord channel was. I mean, not even too awkward. It's just like a billion people trying to talk at once. People asking the same stupid questions month to month to month to month to month. Like, it was just bad news bears,
It was just kind of diminishing returns because it was like this huge burden that was like way extra on the Patreon.
Like, imagine this, but if every comment was automatically read and I had to stop because somebody else was talking.
Everyone had a little screen with their face on it.
It's too many people. You can't have a three-way conversation can be cumbersome. Two's company, three's a crowd. That's them's is the rules. And when you get like fucking 45 people in a room that all want to chat you up, and they're all just, and you're just like, whoa, and you're just adding to it. It's a nightmare. It's no good. We tried doing this whole, like, we auto-mute everybody that comes into the channel and would just unmute people one at a time. And that sucked. It just sucked. It was not good. I don't know what to tell you. It sucked in a way that the meetups have never sucked. So. What are the reasons for that? I don't know. Paul, yeah, plus a lot of your fans are cringe, Paul, no offense. I mean, you're here. That proves that point. 5 or 6 is the absolute max you can manage on Discord, and even then, you need good voice chat etiquette. Exactly. Yeah, no, it was ridiculous. So we stopped doing it, and it's not something we'll ever do in the future. And that's what I think of when I think virtual meetup. I think of some giant Zoom call with everybody just memeing at the same time and wanting to be the funny guy at the same time. It's not. It's no bueno. No es bueno.
And then you get the trolls.
Yeah. A few trolls sprinkled in there for good measure. Dicks would be out for Harambe for sure in that Zoom call. There'd be people playing porn. It'd be a goddamn fucking nightmare. Like when you're in person, there's like an enforced social etiquette in that kind of environment. You know what I mean? Like if you get grabby or weird, then a big bouncer guy comes and shows you the door. You know what I mean? But you take away that fucking layer of protection and you end up with every memer in the world. I am not a cat, Your Honor. I assure you that I am not a cat. We think that it's a filter that you have on. I'm not a cat.
Fucking boomers.
Oh, boy. They are funny. You have to laugh at them, though. They are fucking funny. Yeah, we were talking about that. I think it was on a Grease Trap.
I think it was Flash Friday.
Or was it Flash Friday? Oh, yeah, it was Flash Friday, yeah. We're talking about, like, how that'd be a good, like, sitcom. Like a cat that's actually a lawyer, and he gets away with it by pretending to be a boomer lawyer that can't figure out the face app that he's using. Oh, forget it. Let's just go forward. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I assure you, I'm not a cat. And it's an actual cat sitting there. Cat lawyer, dude.
Remember that old fucking trend where, like, you could take a picture and, like, animate it to talk? It looked weird as fuck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't remember. What was that? I can't remember what that was called.
Some Windows thing or something. Maybe it was like a filter or something. It was like,
Yeah, I remember it. It was weird. Litigation. Yeah. I ask that we begin litigation this Saturday, Your Honor. What was that, Counselor? I mean, we begin litigation this Saturday. That's what I thought I heard. Motion granted.
I need to take a crack.
Phew!
I need to take a crack at that fucking cat manuscript again.
I know. If you feel like you have it bubbling up, you need to start writing on it again.
I'm just so mad at it.
I get mad at the shit that I write too. I'm definitely not a 4-year-old, 23-pound Maine Coon whose favorite food is tuna, Your Honor. What the prosecution is claiming happened would be the perfect crime. And perfect doesn't exist. Counselor, did you just purr? No, Your Honor, no. I said perfect. I could have sworn I heard a cat purring, Counselor. That's against the law. Oh, shit, man. Cat lawyer.
Dude, Cricket loves fucking with my laptop. He likes making folders.
He'd be a good cat lawyer.
Yeah.
He's made folders. He's opened games.
Yep. He's typed things.
He's typed out, like, documents and shit.
He's deleted an entire page of my research paper before.
Yep. He decided that page was bullshit and went in and edited for you. Cricket loves walking on the laptop. What were the folders named? You kept a few of them, didn't you?
No, I got rid of them, but they were just like...
Like a bunch of M's and a bunch of symbols and shit. Cat filters should be mandatory for official judicial Zoom calls. I know. You're guilty of perjury. Counselor, why did you draw out the purr in perjury like that? Are you making a mockery of this court with that cat filter? No, Your Honor. No. I'm so sorry.
You know what that reminds me of? That horrible Gary Busey pet court.
Oh my god, dude. We try to watch that.
Yeah.
And I couldn't watch it. I felt like it was like elder abuse of Gary Busey.
Yeah, it's like it was pet court with Gary Busey, but like, is this what we think it is? Yeah, it's exactly what we think it is. It's exactly what it looks like.
It's like the first episode is like a couple that's mad because they're trying to figure out they got a divorce and who gets the Pekingese or whatever and he's like, well, let's bring out the Pekingese. Let's see this little dog here. I'm just like, oh my god, Gary Busey, stop. I had to stop it. I couldn't watch it.
Cringe thing ever.
I've never seen Gary Busey's house? No, I've never seen his house. Yeah, the Gary Busey pet law or whatever the fuck pet judge was pet court. Not a good look.
I don't know who funded it. I don't know if he self-funded it.
I don't know what happened. I'm just glad to see Gary Busey in clothes and well-kempt hair. True dat. He looks better than that famous, like, early 2000s mugshot of him. But, you know, Gary Busey, he suffers from he's got some problems. I don't think he should be judging pet cases.
David Lynch is kind of losing it too.
Well,
That monkey thing.
I don't know if David Lynch ever had it. I think that's kind of the point. I think David Lynch.
Thing was
but yeah,
egregious.
the monkey thing was kind of unwatchable. Yeah. Is there anything that makes Gary Busey remotely qualified to deliberate who gets pet custody? He's Gary Busey. Let's take a look at this Pekingese now. Oh, wait a minute. You said you wanted the dog? Who wants the dog? Where am I? On the next episode of Gary Busey Pet Court. Is that parrot yelling at me? No, sir, Your Honor. Keep hearing him say, Gary, Gary. No, he's just squawking, Your Honor. Ah, get it out of here. Well, Your Honor, he's the subject of the court. Get it out of here. Like, huh? Gary Busey played a dog in Quigley. Yeah, that's true. Gary Busey comes to you, just do what he says. Well, yeah. I mean, that's clearly, I guess, the truth. Well, I think I'm done. Good night.